I've got a friend from high school who's a TV reporter in Hartford, Connecticut. She was actually in Haiti just a couple of days before the earthquake, and her story is incredible. She is Jill Konopka, and I am so glad to have you. How are you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good, but I'm curious, why were you in Haiti?
I was volunteering at an orphanage in Mariani, Carrefour, which is about 10 miles, 12 miles outside Port-au-Prince. So they felt the aftershocks and some of the effects of the earthquake, which was very devastating.
One of the things that a lot of people don't know about Haiti is that it was already one of the poorest, most devastated countries in the entire world before the earthquake hit. And I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit about what you actually saw with your own eyes as far as the living conditions.
Nothing research-wise, talking to people could prepare you for what you see when you go into a third world country. And as you said, it is the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere. The living conditions are atrocious. Most Americans would not be able to deal with, what these people deal with on a daily basis. They sleep on cots, no sheets, no pillows. Everything is just kind of out in the open. The orphanage I was at, the people, they all sleep, the kids sleep together. The bathrooms are terrible. They basically have like little latrines for the men, and then there's hardly any workable plumbing for the girls at the specific orphanage that I was at. But, just the infrastructure, or lack thereof, I should say, is absolutely awful. There's no paved roads, there's no street lights. Everything was just kind of underdeveloped, and I just can't imagine what it's like now, knowing what I saw. And also, too, the fact that there's garbage everywhere. Nothing was really developed, and it's just frightening to think about, what could possibly be going on there right now, given the situation, knowing what I know and saw beforehand.
Now, you've got friends who were on the same missions trip who were still there. They stayed behind and were there when the earthquake hit. Have you had a chance to talk to them, and have they described to you some of the devastation that they've seen since the earthquake?
Yeah, I did. I actually was able to interview both of them on Saturday. They were actually in Cap Haitian when the earthquake happened. It's about 100 miles away. They were touring Haitian health clinics. So they just described horrendous conditions. The streets were all lined with dead bodies everywhere. There was absolute chaos. The orphanage was actually, they were kind of cut off from the outside world because there was a big cement wall around everything. And so the orphanage had opened its doors to the villagers because they had nothing. So they were all sleeping inside the orphanage with them in tents because they can't enter any of the buildings, too, because they're structurally unsafe. But one of the girls that I was on the trip with said that, she basically compared it to seeing a modern-day Holocaust. And it was devastating and frightening to see these people at their worst. They've already dealt with, political and civil unrest for the past 200 years. They've just seen so many terrible things. And one more bad thing to happen, she just said that they were apologizing to her and saying, we're so upset that you have to see our country like this. And they said that they went out of their way to make sure that my two American friends could use their phones, or someone who did have a phone, to get a hold of their family. So she just said that despite everything that they were going through, they still opened up their hearts to them.
It just rips your heart apart. I really hope that your story will motivate some more people to give. This is not going to be something that's going to be fixed very soon, and the donations are going to be needed for quite a long time. If you do want information on how you can make a donation, open your home to a refugee, if you're a medical professional and you can assist medically, we've got all of that information on our website at warm103.com. And Jill, I've got one last question for you, and that is, do you plan to go back to Haiti?
We absolutely do. We all want to be there right now, and we're sad that we can't be there. But there is talk of maybe returning at the end of May to the orphanage to help with them. But here back in the States, everyone's trying to pull through and see what they can do to help.
I know you've got a crazy busy schedule, so I'm going to let you go, but I just wanted to say thank you so much for taking a couple of minutes to talk to us about your personal story and your personal experience with Haiti.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.